at ILA, part of our, let's say, core values is having these reach outs with the community, trying to make sure that our community at large understands what we stand for, understands the story of ILA, understands where we're going with our proposition, and how we can also support you guys and your future careers, which is very important. And it's something that I feel very proudly that we have done at ILA in terms of career progression for a lot of people, and also giving students opportunities. Let me start off, sorry, this is with a video. Okay, great. So I like that to share to start off though with that video, just to show you like sort of the flavor of what we stand for. I'm sure that once you see this, you understand that we're not your typical bank in Bahrain. I think the way ILA has come across to a lot of people, it's a new way of banking. It's a bank that, as the statement says, reflects you, and it's a bank that will be sort of with you, not just in your banking needs, but towards a much larger lifestyle proposition. Where the name comes from, I'll start off with that. Ila, as some of you might know, is the Arabic word for to. Basically, it symbolizes towards something, right? And for us personally here at Ila, it symbolizes the journey that you guys as a customer base are going to take with us going forward into transforming your banking needs into this sort of, call it, new frontier of banking and this new world of digital banking. Secondly, it also reflects on basically the journey that Bank ABC, the mother company that owns ILA, has taken to transform itself into a more digital banking company. Okay, my story with ILA, right? This was the name of the topic of the discussion, and this is sort of, what I wanted to talk through with you guys. And to tell you a little bit about myself, like many of you, I grew up in Bahrain. I went to school here. I went to university abroad, studied at the Wharton School of Business in Philadelphia, did my BA in finance, accounting, and also did a minor in history. And then I ended up working in investment banking in New York on Wall Street, doing basically technology, media, and telecom, corporate advisory and investment banking. And this is where my passion for technology really came across. I worked across different pillars in technology, not only banking, but media, telecom, social media, F&B, um, telecom. So I had a variety of flavors, and I started to realize really quickly back in the day that digital across all pillars was disrupting the way consumers were consuming things. So I'll just give you an example of myself. When I went to the States, for example, the iPhone was not yet out. I used to use my BlackBerry to communicate with my friends. I don't know if some of you had using a BlackBerry, like BBM was the thing, right? There was no WhatsApp, there was, none of these FaceTimes, etc. And I would use probably Skype to communicate with my family back in Bahrain. So even for me personally, back in the day, I saw my life getting transformed by the technology. And I think call it the reference year that I always tell people to read about is 2007. I think 2007 was the year where the iPhone launched, if I'm correct. And that's really sort of propelled this new wave of, I call it, consumerism in a digital age where it was really about consuming things from this device. Yeah, whether it's an iPhone or anything, it was basically instantaneous, digital. You wanted it now, you can pay for it now, you can research it, you can view it. So with that in mind, I started trying to build and shape a career that was going to be around digital and would have something around digital. Luckily, when I moved back to Bahrain, I got hired by Bank ABC to work in their overall strategy team. And in their overall strategy team, there was a pillar that was going to be around fintech and how digital was going to disrupt Bank ABC and how Bank ABC was going to adopt digital as part of its overall strategy. Yeah. So I think that's where it came to. And back in 2017 was the day for me. And I really like to show this picture because this is where it all started for me, yeah, with Ella. Is I got asked by, luckily, the Deputy Group CEO, Mr. Salah Al-Wari, to join the first team. So I was employee number one underneath him to basically lead the implementation of, call it at that point, Bank ABC Neobank, it was called, right? It didn't have a name called Ella. So it was called Bank ABC Neobank. And I remember saying to him, I have one condition. This condition was going to be I wanted to be separated from Bank ABC. I wanted to have a new team. I thought it was really the right way to kind of just build something from scratch, right? You were going to just build it from scratch. And the first thing that I did was take my team to an entire new building, right? And I remember taking this picture back in 2017, posting it in my Instagram, yeah, in my story. And it said Bank ABC Neobank Beta version 1. Yeah. And it's basically, I said, a new chapter, new beginnings. Yeah. And what I did is I wanted to create even a new culture. Yeah. So if you can see the tables, I put it right here, they were 20 dinars picnic table. Yeah, nothing fancy. um, what we did is my idea was to create more a collaborative environment. Yeah, I wanted people to sit side by side. The idea was this was going to be built by everyone for everyone. Yeah, and we were going to build it together as a team. So this was one of the most important things. Number two, I wanted to send a message at that point to everyone that was working on this, that this was going to be us together in this journey. There was no one else. Like if I had put in this team in the other building with the overall Bank ABC, call it the mother company, you'll tell that the people will feel that they are more aligned with the other larger company. But with this one, this setup, it was more, guys, we're on this on our own. We are call it the leaders. We are going to be putting in the culture, the products, doing the research, doing the hard work. And it all started from here. Yeah. This is on, we call it Bank ABC Tower 2. I'm sure if you pass by the diplomatic area, you're going to see a tall building with the logo of Ella. And that's where we are. Okay. And how it started. Yeah, this is most important. You see the app, you see us on social media, you see us winning awards, you see us hiring people, the team has grown. It all started from whiteboards, guys. And this was a picture taken in basically February of 2018, where we started coming together and putting together the team. As you can see, young team. And we started putting all our thoughts on whiteboards. Yeah. I mean, if you look at this, I don't know if the clicker shows here, this was a whiteboard where we had USP, unique selling point. Yeah. What was going to be our unique selling point to all of you? Like, what were we going to come out with? And I can tell you guys, whatever we wrote on that whiteboard, some of it came live, some of it is yet to come live, some of it came live and turned out to be wrong. And my advice here is you got to start somewhere. Yeah, you're gonna start somewhere. The journey is gonna take you to many different ways, and there's going to be so many different obstacles. But it's amazing now looking back. And I also on purpose opened the video on this whiteboard because this was one of the whiteboards I continuously used over the years to write my thoughts and where we are, how much I was right and how much I was wrong. But it's really helped in shaping us together. This collaborative, some people call it, I guess, agile, and maybe your academic language. But it's really, now when I look at it, it's really heartwarming to see that whatever we did in these rooms, the frustrations, the arguments, the differences that we had, the similarities, the agreements, all now came across together in a really nice way for the experience that you guys see. And on these whiteboards, we talked about the app, we talked about customer service, we talked about social media, we talked about what we stood for. So it all started really in a new floor, in a room with a group of people on whiteboards, discussing things, agreeing on things. What happened after 3 months? And this is a very proud moment for us at the bank, not only me, but for everyone involved. Yeah. And this is a message to everyone on this call, that if you're someone who is dedicated, has the belief, has the ambitions, and is willing to put up the hours and is willing to call it work for his or her dream, they do happen. And I call it what happened when after 3 months, once Illa launched, we had one of the best, I guess, milestones happen is His Royal Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa gave us his kind visit personally to Illa's headquarters, where he met the team and he listened to what we had to say in terms of our vision, in terms of what we wanted to achieve, and in terms of who the team was and why they were there, and what impact was Illa going to have. And this was 3 months after we launched, which just shows you how much we had done at that point, and how much, I guess, when I told you things turn out to be great and some things turn out to be, let's say, wrong, but this turned out to be amazing, great for us, that after 3 months, unexpectedly, he gave us a kind visit. And just to give you like sort of a timeline of things, the pictures I showed you right here, this was February 2018, yeah, and his visit was February 2020. It's just 2 years, yeah. But in 2 years, look at how much we've achieved. We went from a whiteboard, yeah, to having a real lifetime implementation with customers on board, with the public knowledgeable about this, and with a kind visit from um, his His Majesty's representative. So it's been a humbling experience for me personally, for everyone on the team, but I think it also reflects that dreams do come true, and that's, I think, one of the things I'm going to emphasize on the following pages. I'm going to come back to the slide that I was presenting to His Highness in a bit. So what I've learned in my story, yeah, and what I wanna talk about, to all of you, what signified my story with the bank. These are three words or three phrases, let's say, that I hold very dear to me when I talk about this: ambition, passion, and a relentless pursuit of success. And without these three things in my journey, personally here at Illa, or throughout my career, by the way, I wouldn't have been in the place where I would have been today at all. And I can tell you, my life has taken me to many different call it islands and ventures, but within all of them, at the heart of how I reached to these milestones and successes and personal achievements, it was about my ambition and staying ambition regardless of how things got tough, right? And sometimes things get tough, by the way. You're gonna fail, you're gonna fall on your face, by the way, and I have fallen on my face many times. But the ambition that I had, that I wanted to succeed, was always there. And that's what drove me all the time. Second, passion. Passion is so important. Yeah. And I love people when they speak to me about something, when they are very passionate about it. It's contagious to me. Yeah. I see eye to eye to people that are very passionate about what they do, whether it's you're a musician, whether you're an artist, whether you want to be a baker, whether you want to be a scientist. As long as you're someone that's passionate about what you want to do and how you want to conduct it, I feel that you're going to be successful. And then relentless pursuit of success. I think success doesn't come overnight. Yeah. If someone tells you you're going to be successful overnight, like let's take an example, to all of you who maybe are trading in Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, um, yes, you might have bought in Bitcoin today and it had gone triple or quadruple in a day. But to me, that's not success. Yeah. Nothing in life comes that easy. And I can assure you, it's about your relentless pursuit for that definition of success that you want to have. And in my life, I've always said to myself, this year, this is my, call it success definition. Next year, this is going to be my success definition. Next year, this is going to be my success definition. And this is how I conducted myself and just said, I'm going to pursue this. I'm going to pursue these goals this year. If I make 80% of them, that's great. Yeah. So these three things I always kept in mind in order for me to achieve what I always wanted to achieve. Vision and values. I said I'm going to talk about that page. When I joined ILA, one of the things that I really wanted to do, and I'll tell you, I'm really frustrated about all the time, is this concept that wherever you go in the GCC or you go globally, no one talks about a company from Bahrain. Let's be honest, yeah. I go to one of our neighboring countries, they talk about Kareem, they talk about Noon, they talk about these days all these new startups that are coming up. But I just always got frustrated that, especially me, having such a global network of friends, having worked and studied outside, that I didn't have any company that I could speak with to my friends. Nothing affected their lives. So my vision when I started this, and luckily it sort of complemented Bank ABC's vision, is we wanted to create a digital champion that is regional, not just for Bahrain. Like, I'll just tell you guys, ABC has big plans for ILA. They want to take ILA regionally, maybe one day globally. Yeah. So we're going to open up in Jordan. We're going to open up, inshallah, in Egypt, Tunis, Jazair, and other markets we're going to open up. Bahrain was a starting point. And the way I did this page is, what I'm saying is, I want to raise the Bahraini flag and have a digital champion across the region. And I want to be going to my friends in Dubai. I'm going to go to my friends in Jordan, Egypt, you name it. And I want them to talk about, oh, we're using ILA. We're using this Bahraini bank. Yeah. And this is a source of pride for me. And to me, if you talk about my story with ILA one day, when if maybe we can meet in 5 or 10 years, I want to come and tell you guys that I achieved that. That's going to be my last chapter in my book, that I was able to take ILA and make it a digital champion across the region. Yeah. Our team. And I think this is very important. If you speak to me personally in public, I'm going to tell you, you're going to ask me, what's the success of the story of ILA? Not just me personally. The success of the story of ILA goes down to its people. I am so proud of the team that we have built at ILA. It's a young, dynamic, hungry, and passionate team that's all sort of, let's say, aligned to the overall success of ILA. And I'll tell you, my personal success with ILA and other ventures is my ability to be a team player. Yeah. Leaders, and let me tell you this, the best leaders I've seen and I've worked under are team players. They are leaders that promote diversity. They are leaders that promote progression and self-career progression. They are people that train people. Yeah. And this is something very important, I'll tell you, is through my story too, my own personal story. I was one day like you guys. I was a graduate. I was also a student. I did some internships. I had some great mentors during my internship. And after my internship, over my first job, I had some great teachers and I also had some great team members, and I learned from all of them. And the team is at the heart of everything. And when you tell me ILA team, I'll tell you, ILA team is the heart, is the lungs, is the eyes, is everything when it comes to the success. It's not me. People say, introduce me as a CEO, right? If I had the chance, I would call myself something else. I would like to call myself a team captain or a team coach, because my responsibility is not to, call it, micromanage my responsibility is to allow these talented group of people to work together to create a masterpiece. And that masterpiece, one day, I hope you guys will tell me, is Illa. And one thing to note is actually, which I'm proud of, and it's good to note that a lot of our team members, many of them are actually University of Bahrain students or graduates, and that's something that I'm personally very proud of. And our partnership with the university, you guys, I have to say, have a tremendous curriculum. I personally have worked abroad, and I continuously work with people from different countries, and I can tell you guys that yani mashallah, the amount of talent and the amount of knowledge that you guys have at the university is really great. So take it, consume it, and make the best out of it, because to be honest, I've seen some tremendous results come out of the university. One of the most important values I have, yeah, and I'm gonna give you this as part of my story and why I have gone far in my story, right? If I look at my career, I like to put it in a story, yeah. And one day when I sit down and either retire, or I want to talk about my story in a way where, what is it going to be like, right? What do my story look like? What do I want people to say about me? And I'll get to that at the end. But in order for me to get there, one of the most important things is this proverb, yeah? If you want to go fast, go alone. You'll burn out, yeah? It's like I don't know if you guys, I'm a marathon runner, so I think once the gun goes off, people sometimes just sprint right out the door, and within 1 kilometer you see them tired sitting on the side, yeah? But if you want to go far, go together. And that's everything in life that I do, by the way. It's with my friends, with my family, with my colleagues, with everything. I always remember that if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Okay. With Illa, now let me just get into Illa a little bit before we get to more around my story. We really wanted to create a new kind of bank. Yeah. I don't want anyone on this call to open up the app and feel that he was going and opening up an account with any other bank in Bahrain. It had to be different. And what I wanted to be different is an overall experience, guys. It's when you say Illa, I don't want you guys to think that Illa is just a digital bank, right? An app bank. No, Illa is an overall experience. The way you guys call the contact center, the way you guys hear our social media or see our social media, the way you guys interact with us on overall had to be different. And that's what I mean with a new kind of bank. A new kind of bank, and all your touch points with us had to be new and had to be exceptional. And the word is customer experience. I wanted your experience to be as good as Amazon. I wanted your experience to be as good as Netflix. Why not? It was within our capacity and still is. So that's the benchmarks that I have for the team, is to have a new kind of bank. The reason for this is, I'm gonna walk through this really quickly, but it's technology, guys. Technology is creating impact all over. So customer attention is decreasing. I mean, look at what WhatsApp recently did, right? To prove this point. WhatsApp gave you an option to speed up the voice note speed so that you can listen, because they felt this customer attention was decreasing. On average, they say that the best performing videos on social media, whether it's YouTube or Instagram, have to be lower than 7 or 8 seconds. If you're more than 8 seconds, you lose maybe 60% of the viewership. So that within itself just gives you an understanding that customer attention is decreasing. So we as a bank needed to create this instantaneous feel in all our touch points to create brand loyalty. You as consumers expect personalization, right? So when you guys are online or on social media, you want to be hit with digital marketing, or you guys want to be see stuff that represents you. You don't want to be hit with an ad that has, I'll just give you an example, the typical ad, right? There's a dad with his kids, with his wife, walking out of a branch. They walk in sad and they come out very happy. The typical banking ad, right? You wanted to create things that are more personalized, and technology allowed you to do that. Ease of access to information. Now you guys can easily compare me against any other bank by just going to our websites. So you had the ability as consumers to make better choices. Brand loyalty and customer stickiness is decreasing. So with online purchasing right now and everyone having an app, you can easily transfer from one bank to the other. You can open up a bank now, not with Ella, with someone else very easily, right? So you can just switch very easily. So that's another thing that technology has created. And I think most importantly, the last thing I'd say is with technology, you guys now expect to consume things instantaneously from anywhere, anytime, with high expectations. Yeah. If I was you, I would be saying to all my banks, why can't I have the same experience as Amazon that I'm having? Why can't I have the same experience as, Shahid or Netflix or, what Talabat or whatever thing you're consuming digitally that's now anywhere, anyhow. So all these things, the way that the market has changed has affected basically us as banks, and this played into the overall story of Illa and how Illa came about. Most importantly, a bank that listens to you, right? We say Illa is a bank that reflects you, right? So banking that reflects you is quite important because I believe, me personally, when I moved back to Bahrain, I could not relate with any bank. Yeah, personally, because I wanted a bank that was on an app. I wanted it instantaneously. I could transfer money very easily between friends. I can transfer it outside. I could do multi-currency. So a lot of my frustrations were let's say, not listened to by any of the banks that I suggested my things to. I was frustrated. So I said to myself, within Ella, I wanted to make sure that we as a bank listen to our customers, and we're doing, I think, as good of a job as we can, listening to you guys as customers, um, building something that really reflects your needs, your wants, your desires, your expectations. Reflects you is the same thing. And I think most importantly, like I said to you, the vision of Ella needs to reflect you, right? We're a young team. I think we're like 90 right now, around 80% Bahraini. I think 85% is under the age of 40, to tell you how young the team is. This team is really, I think, in its core values, work ethic, wants to reflect the best in what I guess the country wants to see in a bank, in a digital champion. This is just to give you a flavor of our green card across the island. And as you can see, we've really done things that are different, right? In our marketing and the way we communicate. It's again part of the story of Illa. And the part of my story is we need to do things differently. We need to set new benchmarks. Yeah, I'll tell you, it gives me great pleasure to see that now people are imitating, and no one can deny that. Yeah, I see banks doing the same things that we are doing, and not only banks, other companies too. This is part of the great feedback we've been having with our customer. People have been sharing our card, sharing their experiences. The green card has really taken over, and part of our new way of marketing was this. Like, the way the packaging was, the way the experience was, right? It's different. And that's the story, again, of Illa, and my personal story that I always want to say. I gave and we gave at Illa a different kind of experience to our customers. Okay, I'm gonna end with this and then we can open it up with questions. And this is one of the pages I think that probably you guys are gonna ask me a lot of question on. But this is really, I'm opening up my books and being very honest here. Um, First up, never take no for an answer, yeah? Fight your goals and stay the course. And, Dr. Isra mentioned, I'm currently the CEO. I'm a board member of several organizations, luckily, at early on in my career. But guys, I got rejected 11 times before I got my first job in Wall Street, yeah? I was a junior in college, ثالث سنة, third year. I was going to my fourth year, and the way it works in the US, if you wanted to get into Wall Street, you needed a summer internship in order to secure a full-time job after graduating. For my summer internship, I got rejected 11 times. Yeah, I went to 11 interviews and was told no. But guess what? My 12th interview, I got it and I had the time of my life. Yeah, and it was the perfect experience. I worked in a fantastic company with one of the guys I used to study about in school, Mr. Joe Porella, who's nicknamed the Godfather of investment banking. So, sometimes life works in very mysterious ways. You know, every day I think you need to have a purpose. Yeah. And you need to tell yourself what sort of impact you want to create on your friends, family, community, country. Um, you might struggle over time to find it. It might change and evolve over time, which is okay. But always say to yourself, what's my purpose? Yeah, what do I want to achieve? And it's going to be difficult, right? I did not find probably my purpose in everything I categorized here till maybe I was 30 or 28 years old. The easiest one was, what did I want to be with my family? That was easy. What did I want to be with my friends? That was easy. One of the hardest things was community. As part of my overall story, I'm obsessed with what people will remember me when I'm gone. Yeah. I always say to myself is, how do I want my um story to be told, and what do I want to be remembered for as my purpose? Yeah. Third, getting straight A's in university is fantastic. Yeah. But that's not the definition of success for all of you guys. Um, each one of you is going to have a different definition of success. Don't compare yourselves to each other. You guys are going to get tired, but terrible. You need to craft a definition of success, yeah, for you. And different people might have different definitions of success. But again, this goes to your story, right? My story, I have in my mind what I want to be successful and what my definitions of successful will be. So that's what I ask from you guys is to really think about what your definition of success is going to be. My definition of success is one of them, and most importantly, is how am I impacting positively my country, Bahrain? Yeah, how many leaders am I going to be giving back to Bahrain after I'm done? So, in my position, how much greatness in others am I going to unlock, and how many careers I'm going to be giving to the country? Yeah, and that's very important to me. Um, I said this before, I'm going to stress it again. Be obsessed with what your legacy is going to be. How will history books remember you? How will people remember you? Do you want to be remembered as a very good husband, a very good father, a very good friend? These are also successes, by the way. It's not easy to do these things, yeah? And I'm not talking about just professionally or, yeah, I'm talking about personally too. You need to think about really important, like what the definition of success personally is going to be for you. Life is a marathon, not a sprint. Yeah. I love running. Yeah. Because I do most of my thinking while I'm running. And running has also taught me, and especially marathon running, yeah, long distance, is it's going to be a journey. There's going to be many obstacles along the way. To some of you who are athletes, you're going to know this, right? If you go on a marathon, by halfway you might start getting aches, right? Your back might start hurting, your knees might start going out, but then after a while something kicks in, right? The adrenaline just kicks in, and you lose all that idea of pain. And and that has taught me that in my journey, in my story, um, there's going to be ups and downs, but with determination, belief in God, and self-belief in yourself, and hard work and dedication, you'll make it eventually. And by the way, I did not get here very easily. Don't think so. There was a lot of days where I said to myself, what in the world was I doing here? Yeah, was this the right choice? Um, Both professionally and personally. Yeah, I would see others, social media is the most disastrous thing to use to compare, is, having the time of their life, right? It's summer, people are on planes, traveling, etc. And I was on the office till midnight working on something. But eventually, it was worth it. Number six is very important. In your early years, and this was very important to me, from 21 to 30, right out of college, you need to have the right leaders working above you and the right mentors. Yeah, try to find it as much as possible. It's hard, I know, especially with limited, let's say, um, opportunities coming your way. But as much as possible, try to align yourself with the right mentors, both personally, yeah, and professionally. Because even, you know, when you graduate from college, I think one of the things you're gonna realize is what you learned in school, you're not just going to walk into a job and start doing your coding and formulas and applying all the stuff that you did, right? Part of it is also who are you as a human being and what your values are. These are the things that are going to take you forward, guys. So find the right people to really mentor you and to learn from, and also take, let's say, imitations from. Yeah, learning never stops, especially for me. If you're working on my team, you're going to know that. I read all the time. I'm very curious and I'm always hungry. By the way, I don't have an engineering background. I don't have a computer science background, but I'm leading a digital bank. Yeah. And not only that, I'll give you an example. I'm currently the head of the digital committee at a company called Bahrain Car Parks Committee company, where I'm sure you might know the car park in Adliya and other car parks, where I'm in charge of digitizing the car park sort of experience in Bahrain alongside my fellow board members. I don't have experience in computer science, yeah. But right now, where I'm at and with my story, call it, and my career, is people are associating myself with digital. And the reason I was able to do this is not hard. I didn't take any courses, by the way. I just read TechCrunch, Wall Street Journal, Financial Times, Bloomberg, podcasts are another great source of information. I read a ton of research, and professors writing paper. Now I think I see a great trend. A lot of professors are sharing a lot of great information on LinkedIn, Twitter, Substack. I don't know if you guys use Substack. It's a great website, even for students, I believe. You can get a lot of information over there. So information is all out there. You just need to curate it in the right way for you. And I do that, by the way. I read a ton. When I'm on my phone, and I'm on my phone usually a lot, it's not only around being on WhatsApp, yeah. It's actually me being on podcasts, listening to research, going through stuff. Number eight, every inch matters in your journey. Don't take it easy a day, yeah. Like, dreams don't go to sleep, on weekends, at night. Um, it's okay to rest. It's definitely okay to rest and take your time building this. But what I mean is, don't think that when you switch off, everything just switches off so that you're not going to be progressing. Yeah. I do some of my best thinking when I'm relaxing. Yeah. It doesn't take energy. It's not like I'm writing down or high. Sometimes I'm just taking a walk. Yeah. And great ideas come to my mind and I just store them. Yeah. So it's okay. Again, what I want to say is taking breaks, taking relaxing along the way, taking time for yourself when things are not going wrong too is very, very important. Yeah. If you feel things are not going your way and it's getting tough, just take some time for yourself, which I, again, as part of my story, I continue to do so. But definitely, definitely, guys, want it more than anyone. Fight for it. Yeah. Um, there's this great speech I always tell people about. It's called Peace with Inches. Yeah, on YouTube, um, where someone talks about how day in, day out, you just want every single little inch more than anyone else to get to your dream. Yeah. And it's going to take a while. Yeah. And there's going to be ups and downs, but just want it. And look at me. I can assure you guys, like, look at number one, what I said. I got rejected 11 times. Yeah. I was being laughed at by my friends. Yeah. And khalas, give up. Yeah. You're not going to get something on Wall Street. But I just kept going. And every interview taught me something. Every failure taught me something. It even taught me like what color shirt I needed to wear, right? For the first interview that I went, I remember I think I wore a purple shirt, yeah, or a pink shirt. And the guy said to me, dude, he was from abroad. He's like, never go to an interview wearing that kind of shirt. Yeah, I never knew that, right? But there was one rejection, and I can assure you, I've never gone to a meeting anymore with a purple shirt. Um, Number 9, all of us here owe this country something. This is the country that held us. This is the country that our parents are have lived in. This is the country that has fed us, and this is the country that our, let's call it, future spouses, relative, kids, loved ones are going to continue being here. And it's up to us to making this a much brighter place. Yeah. And for me, again, as part of my story with Ella, like I told you guys at the beginning, I wanted to create an experience that people in Bahrain felt proud of, associated with, and took it globally so that the people here can be proud of something. Yeah. That feeling of pride, of national pride, I wanted to bring back with my story of Ella. And the second thing is I wanted to give an experience that revolutionized banking so people can move. Yani, I think I'm proud to say that our proposition has created a lot of change in other banks. So now different customers have much better experiences than what they used to have before Ella. So that's a matter of pride too with the story of Ella. And last thing is, no matter what you do, right? And I'm not talking about just being in banking or being in anything. You can be a great mother. You can be a great husband, and you can make this country a much brighter place. Yeah. So all of you guys on the call, you know, to those of you, especially the students with us on the call, you know, Bahrain is looking for people like you to make it a much brighter place by excelling and shining both professionally and personally. Yeah, don't forget that. And remember, you spoke to someone today and heard from someone who failed a lot in his career. Yeah, I'll give you my age. I'm 34 right now. Yeah, and I've done all what I've done, um, and so far with so many failures. Yeah, both professionally and personally. But I just was relentless. I kept standing up. I kept going at it. Every door that closed, I tried to go to another door. Every wall that tried to be put in front of me, I tried to jump. If I couldn't jump, I tried to bulldoze through it. If I couldn't bulldoze through it, I tried to run around it. If I couldn't run around it, I would dig a hole underneath it. You just need to stay persistent and relentless if you really want it. I'll tell you what I do. On for example, LinkedIn, I have like these great like thinkers that I really I love following. One of them is called Matt Higgins, Higgins. I love him. He's a technology entrepreneur. He's behind a lot of really fascinating things. I love following how he conducts himself and LinkedIn. Another person that I love following and reading is actually a newsletter on Substack. Remember, I guys told you something. There's some online something called Substack. There's a great newsletter called Grit, Grit Capital, which just talks about um, what are the call it technological advancements that are happening in the world. Also on Twitter, I love following TechCrunch. TechCrunch is a very important news source for all technology matters globally. I love following a Twitter account and a LinkedIn account called Mina Bytes, MENABYTES. Mina Bytes covers all startups and entrepreneurs in the Middle East, yeah, from Africa to Levant to GCC. And it's nice because you get to see people that have the same names as you doing some great things. Yeah, it becomes more personal, I feel, because we're used to saying in entrepreneurs and great tech people are called certain names, not outside our jurisdictions. But there's so much happening here in the Middle East and in Bahrain and the GCC. So Mina Bytes is another great source. Um, I love reading the Financial Times, yeah, on all platforms, and they have some great information about Europe. to those of you who are really interested in fintech, there's a website where you can subscribe to for free to get emails. It's called Sifted, SIFTED, Sifted. It has great information on fintech. For US news, the best source of information for me is Wall Street Journal. I love it. I think it provides me with a lot of idea about like news, not only tech, but business, information, politics, culture, arts, music. So it's a great one. And then the other one I like to read and also follow, obviously, is the local newspapers. I think to get some local flavor of what's happening on the news. And then lastly, I think there's a great news channel that just came out. Yeah, I think it's new. That's in Arabic. It's a collaboration between Bloomberg News and Al Arabiya called Al Sharq News. Yeah, Al Sharq News. They're a new financial channel, both on YouTube. You can do live streaming or even follow them on social media. And they do a fantastic job of giving you information about the Arab world from a financial point of view.